Hello and welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. My name is JT and you're watching Black Box Trading, home of the free Bitcoin trading bots, home of the free Bitcoin trading Discord server. If you guys are new here, I want to invite you to subscribe, hit the like button, share, bell notification, all the YouTube stuff, all the Twitter stuff. I'm just going to take a few moments here to gloat because there was a lot of people that were on my side, credit where credit is due. There's a lot of bulls who are in the community. There's a lot of bulls who watch this YouTube channel. But when we go over here, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful all-time high in Bitcoin. I'm going to share two videos that I got the most amount of hate from and just share little snippets of me saying what you should be doing and what you should be looking out for. Yes, this is gloating.
So, as we said on yesterday's show, we were looking at this bullish divergence. And we had this low and a lower low and a low and a higher low. Every time things get really negative, every time it dumps, you have to expect a pump. Now, the pump doesn't need to change the trend. It just means that there's an overreaction to the downside. You have to get that corrective action to the upside and vice versa.
Anyways, that one's not as cool as this one. That one got a lot of hate, so I just wanted to share. We were bullish there.
Reclaim the wave. We'll probably be smooth sailing, and no joke, we're pretty much gonna be heading. In my opinion, I think this is the beginning of phase 2 of the bull market. We've been talking about how the bull market is divided into two different phases. Phase one is the recovery.
Anyways, beginning of phase 2. That was the beginning. We got so much hate. I posted some shorts. I couldn't find the snippet of me saying that this would result in an all-time high. If you guys can find that, link it in the Discord, that'd be great so that I could repost that. But yeah, we were calling the all-time high. And we were taking flack. We were taking shit. I have a lot of YouTube comments of people just being like, no, you're wrong. Sorry, bro. Look at this idiot, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I know that a lot of people were wrong. I know that a lot of people did believe that we were entering phase 2 of the bull market. A lot of people believed that we were heading to all-time highs and that we were going to get there in a very quick and not very many pullbacks. I said the whole way up to the all-time high, we're not going to get steep pullbacks. If you listened to any of that advice, golf clap, golf clap, golf clap, ladies and gentlemen. How are you looking on our trade? Let's actually pull up our trade here. App.blackbox.pro. Not sign in. No, we're signed in. We're signed in. Come on, come on. Okay, it's making us sign in. We should have already been signed in. But yeah, we are cruising. $8,000 in unrealized profits so far. Over $111,000 position open. This is a manual trade. I know it says MRI, but this is a manual entry that we posted in the Discord. We got stopped out on the first one, but we knew this is heading up, and we got in on that second one, and we're laughing. We are laughing. So yeah, gloating over. Let's get into the TA. Where do we go from here? Well, like we've said in the past, I expect this is like kind of the first technical break, right? Like this is the first area of this new break, and it is in the context of a disbelief rally. Check out our prior videos about how important a disbelief rally is. This is likely going to impulse, at least in my opinion, it's not going to slow down to 125 to 150. I know that my ranges are large. I'm not here to nail the top. I'm not here to pinpoint exact impulse targets like other people pretend that they have the ability to do. I'm just telling you that this is going to continue. This daily candle is going to close green. Tomorrow's daily candle is going to close green. The candle after that's going to close green. We are in a very aggressive uptrend in the short term here for the price of Bitcoin. So it's looking really good on all time frames. Let's just briefly catch up with the chat. I'm excited. The charts are great no matter what time of day. Great call off the lows. Hey, JT, you've been totally killing it, and congrats on the new all-time high. Bitcoin is king. Any comment on if ordinals like Ordi, Sats, and Trax can get back to previous all-time highs, if ever? I fully believe that they can. But it's not altcoin season. Those are high-risk altcoins, right? It's not altcoin season yet. Like we always do, we cover the rotation into alts. Not yet. Not yet. I cannot wait to go live. I cannot wait to produce content that praises altcoins because it's so much better for it's so much better for the growth of my YouTube channel. You know, being bearish on alts does nothing but hurt me. It hurts my exposure. It hurts my growth. It hurts my marketing. And that's why I come, you know, that's the reason that I come on YouTube every day is to market my products. So I cannot wait till I have something good to say about altcoins. And, you know, I've been saying it's coming. But when did I say it's coming? June. I think June. We're going to maintain since like maybe March or April, we've been talking about acceleration in May. We got the acceleration in May and the acceleration for alts to happen in June. We maintain that position. That is what we are stating is going to be the reality moving forward. So June is likely when you're going to start to see that rotation really start to take place. You'll see those effects come down into the top 20, top 50, top 100, and most certainly the ordinals. And will they reach all-time highs? Yes, I believe that they will reach all-time highs and beyond. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, man, like new entries. No, you should have entered down here when we were telling you to enter down here. It's too risky to take a new position at this point. Right now, you're just on cruise control, waiting for that spike, waiting for a liquidity event, a high volume event to take place, waiting for something that would indicate that, you know, big money's taking profits. We don't see anything that would indicate that big money's taking profits just yet. Let me turn on volume. Yeah, no big volume spike. This is on BitGet. Let's go to the aggregated. No big volume spike just yet. It's smooth sailing. It's smooth sailing. You know, we're cruising at this point. So you should be long. You should be in position. If you're not in position, if you don't have a futures contract or anything like that, do not get it. It's not worth it. That's what everybody else is going to be doing. They're going to be chasing that. We also have shorts stacked. From what I believe, I saw a tweet somewhere that there's a bunch of short side liquidity up at around 115 that could fuel the impulse that we're talking about. If we can press through that 115 level, I mean, we got to get through all the short orders. We got to get through all that supply. But if we can clear that, then it's smooth sailing, and we'll see at 120, 125, 130, something like that. Powell W asking in the chat, JT, what bot do you recommend in current market conditions? I recommend AMX Bullbox. So AMX Bullbox is our bullish tuned bot. Let me turn this off for just a moment and just show you. This is our bullish tuned bot. So when you're in strong uptrends, when you know that you're in the thing is it uses moving average crosses. It's alphanumerics bull and bear cross. That's the whole algorithm, which when you're in a strong trending environment, you want to be exposed to this bot. When we're trading sideways, you want nothing to do with this bot because it's going to put you in, take you out, put you in, take you out. It's going to get chopped up. So any degree of sideways, it's not good at. MRI is good at sideways. Bangbox V2 is really good at sideways. We actually haven't even gotten a reset on Bangbox V2 because the uptrend has been so strong. It hasn't had the opportunity to reset the bot. So if you are in Bangbox, you may want to consider moving that over to Bullbox because Bullbox, yes, has less leverage and wider stops. less of a risk to reward ratio, but it just holds the trends so much longer. Like, look at these last couple trades here. You know, it made an entry here. It held all the way to here. There's a 15% move. Re-entered here, and we're still in this one. It's up 15% again, and it's just getting started. So bull box holds really long. It gives it room. It carries the trend. As long as you have a strong trend in place, bull box is going to be your friend. And then black box. Black box holds the whole bull market, and it'll sell at the bear market, but there's no leverage on that. That's a spot bot. A question regarding the spot bot. Can you give some more info on how this gets triggered? And is it when you get a purple candle? No, it uses our modified Lucid SAR to make its entries and exits, and it'll enter and exit depending on how much allocation you want to put in, how much rollover you want to give it. You could give it a 25% rollover, a 50% rollover, or you just go 100%. And yeah, it's the bull market indicator. So when our indicator says we're in a bull market, it's long. When it says we're in a bear market, it's short. I mean, not actually shorting on futures, but it is holding cash position. Still been pretty happy with the MRI. Yeah, MRI is good. MRI is good. It has periods of time where it's not doing too hot, but the latest market conditions have actually been quite good for MRI. That being said, if the market conditions, I'm expecting phase two, like we've said multiple times. We have two phases. Phase one is retail from the prior cycle. Phase two is the new money of retail coming in. In the context of phase two, I personally anticipate that bull box is going to do much better than MRI swing box. We'll see. We'll see. MRI seems to be cutting trades a little bit short. Bull box is rocking and rolling. Anyways, yeah, there's really nothing to report here on TA for Bitcoin. You should be in, and you should be loving it. End of story. Let's move on to the altcoin rotation, because I know a lot of people want to know, is it altcoin season yet? What do we need for altcoin season? And I am sorry to report that it is not altcoin season. We don't have our 30x just yet. I do think that, especially if we get a big impulse in Bitcoin, I want to see this spike. I want to see that spike up to 70. If we see anything that resembles this, it's go time. It's go time. We haven't seen it yet, but Bitcoin dominance continues to climb. It continues to trend to higher levels. The market is working against you if you were an altcoin trader. Why? Because Bitcoin is so strong. Don't get in the way of Bitcoin. Now, you need a strong Bitcoin for you to get an altcoin season, because the stronger Bitcoin is, the more attention it brings to the market. But while it is trending up, while Bitcoin dominance continues to trend higher and higher against altcoins, you shouldn't have exposure to alts. It's an uphill battle that you should limit your exposure to. So don't front run anything. Just don't front run alts. If you have long-term alt positions, I'm not saying sell them. You've constructed your portfolio. You got to kind of sit with it. That's my opinion, not financial advice, but that's how I would be doing it. But for those waiting to throw some sats into the mix and try and, multiply their Bitcoin, it's just not the time. Not yet, anyways. So the spot bot turns back to USD automatically when the market conditions are not bullish anymore. Correct. It used to short as well. Now it's holding Bitcoin until it believes that it's in a bear market. Then it converts your Bitcoin into USDT Tether. So it's not altcoin season yet, but let's take a look at some of these alts. What are they looking like? They're holding up. They're holding up. This is Solana BTC. So this is the price of Solana denominated in Bitcoin. And currently sitting at 160,000 sats per SOL, and it's holding up. I think we might get something like this. Again, I'm counting on that kind of big move up in dominance and that big move up in Bitcoin. So we might get something that looks like this. Maybe it comes down a little bit further and kind of causes some bullish divergence of some kind. But I feel like the lows need to be tested here on Solana. And I would be a very tempted buyer. I know I'm saying don't front run, but if you really wanted to front run, I would be front running somewhere around this level. That would be the target for me. That would be the honeypot. That's where the risk to reward is good enough for me to want to take exposure when looking on the Bitcoin pair. Don't even waste time on the dollar pair. You're trying to outperform Bitcoin. Pair it up with Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance shows an MRI top. Don't use technical indicators on any dominance chart, in my opinion. I just look at trend. Don't place moving averages. Don't place overbought, oversold, RSI. All that shit doesn't matter. What way are we trending? Are we making higher highs and higher lows, or are we making lower highs and lower lows? With dominance charts in particular, or market health index charts, you're going to be far better off, in my opinion. So, do you. There's a million ways to skin a cat. There's no such thing as like wrong, but in my opinion, because we're not talking about, nobody can buy Bitcoin dominance and you can't buy or sell Bitcoin dominance. I think it's better to just look at the overall trend. There's no Bitcoin dominance futures. Maybe there will be. Maybe there is. Who knows? Kahare Pavith, Ethereum done some move last days. What do you think about it? Let's take a look at ETH BTC. Yeah, I mean, over the last, what is this? It had a big move a little while ago. Had a big move on the 8th. No real significant move since then. It seems to be flagging though. But again, I'm still expecting a big move in Bitcoin dominance to climb. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a move down and test the lows. This is the Bitcoin chart, by the way. This is ETH BTC. I'm not going to waste my time on ETH USD. It's a pointless and useless chart for me when trying to capitalize on altcoin season. So I'd be watching for something like that. I want to see a pullback. Doesn't have to come back that low, but somewhere around here, and maybe the area of the breakout, I'd be watching there for a bounce somewhere around 2.3 million sats. No, I think 2 million sats. 2 million sats per ETH. That's the juicy spot. That's the juicy location. That's where you want to be. So come right around here. A touchdown here. Right at around 2 million sats per ETH. That's where you want to be. That's the area of interest for me. If it comes back down to 2 million sats, holds it as support and bounces off, that will likely be the beginning of Ethereum beginning to outperform. Will I be buying Ethereum? No. I won't be buying Ethereum because I think Solana is going to do better than Ethereum. And I won't be buying too much Solana either because I think Sonic's going to do better than Solana. New cycle, new coins. New cycle, new coins. When it comes to alts, there's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a rock. Every single cycle is Bitcoin. The cycles happen because of Bitcoin. So the majority of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin. When you rotate into alts, rotate into new coins. The same idea from the last cycle, different coin. You will do exponentially better. A lot of people have a lot of faith in Ethereum and think that it's an asset that's here to stay. I don't. And, when you look at the chart, you can see that it's in a downtrend against BTC. I do anticipate that downtrend to continue, which means that eventually it will trade itself into irrelevance. Sonic has me very interested. Very interested. I'm not ready to front run it, but boy, is this tempting. This is a really tempting chart for me. Solana looks good too, but I want to see that correction. I want to see it come back down. So maybe on Sonic, you'll get a retest. Maybe we get something like this where it comes up to the bottom. We get that move in BTC that I'm expecting, and it comes back down. And then that's when you'll get the recovery, and boom, we're off to the races. Sonic's an old coin, just a rebrand. You're right. But a rebrand counts because not enough people know that. And I think it is still, I think there are some differences. I don't think it's just a rebrand because it's a new chain. It's a mainnet launch. So there is stuff that goes along with that as well. It's a different chain. It's a new coin as far as the market's considered, but you're right. It used to be Phantom. Would you buy the asset or use futures on coin margin? For an altcoin, I will never buy futures. Never buy futures on an altcoin. Futures is for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is crazy enough. Bitcoin on futures is greedy. Altcoins on futures is so greedy that the market will punish you for doing that. There's absolutely no need whatsoever. Spot. Alts. When I talk about spot, when I'm talking about alts, I am always talking about spot. I never trade futures on alts. It's too greedy. Liquidated shorts. Good to see you in the chat. XMR looking good. Let's take a look. XMR BTC. Oh yeah. XMR looking great. See, this is what I want to see on some of the other ones that we just looked at. Sonic, I want to see a double bottom. Solana, I want to see a double bottom. Here on Monero, we got the double bottom, and now we're rallying. So Monero looks really good. It's at a technical uptrend now. When we look, we can see that we have a low, a high, a lower low, and a higher high. So it's at this awkward transition phase. If we can get back above this level, this area of resistance right here, then that'll be very noteworthy. Basically, we do this a lot on the channel. We have the bullish and we have the bearish labels. Let's just lay them down here. If we'll say bullish. Bullish above. Bearish below. Keep it simple. So I'm not bearish on Monero. I'm just making a rule. I'm just making a rule-based technical assessment here that when price gets above this resistance point, I'm much more bullish on Monero. And Monero's been doing great, man. Like I've got a bunch of Monero from way back when, and just logged into a wallet that I haven't used in forever, resynced, and I'm like, oh, cool. We're up a couple X there in Monero. So it's looking good. Yeah, Monero's good. And it's interesting to see because it certainly lacked last cycle. It was very stifled last cycle. So this cycle, it's actually leading a little bit, which is interesting. Bitcoin hits a new all-time high right now. Hell yeah, man. Get used to it. It's all-time highs from here on out, man. The rest of the year is going to be all-time highs. That is the new reality for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is slaying. Bitcoin is in up-only mode, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I'd love to see a double bottom on BNB. BNB, we haven't taken a look at the Binance scam chain in a while. Let's take a look at BNB. This one actually doesn't look good at all, if I'm honest. I mean, initial impressions are, it's a little sketchy. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Binance. I'm not a fan of BNB. I'm not a fan of the Binance Smart Chain. Not a fan. I'm just not a fan of anything here. Yeah, and this looks like redistribution to me. Now, it doesn't fit where we are in the market cycle. The market cycle is bullish, so just because you see something bearish doesn't mean it's going to resolve bearish. But I don't know, maybe there could be some inside turmoil happening at Binance. Maybe there could be some negative news that is brewing in the background for the Binance exchange that could affect the Binance price. But yeah, this doesn't look great. Doesn't look great in my opinion. Yeah, not my favorite chart. I've got other charts that I like. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't go up, guys. Like, TA is not a crystal ball. I want to make that very clear. Like, if you're new to trading, you need to understand that everything about trading is risk management. It's money management. Money management, money management, money management. That is what trading is. It's not, oh, we have a candle and it's doing this and it's got a 9 and an 8 and like the magical fairy dust of the RSI is going to cause everybody, it's going to brainwash them into buying. It's not how it works. It's a way to mitigate risk. So just because you see something that you don't like doesn't mean it's not going to go up. But you're far better off as a trader to navigate through the market by following certain patterns that you do like, that you've seen play out in a certain way, so that it gives you a little bit of a plan on how to trade it. So not my favorite chart, not my favorite asset. It's a pass for me. But, you know, you can apply your own metrics and your own techniques to it. How about BGB? Hell yeah. Get them BitGet coins. That's our favorite partner, BitGet. BGB, BTC. Does BitGet? Okay, good. I was like, does BitGet not have a Bitcoin spot pair of their own token? This is much better. This is much better because you've got that sign of strength coming in, and now you've got the falling wedge. Excuse me. This is a lot easier to understand what's going on. This is a lot cleaner of a setup to navigate. So let's just turn the line chart on. And you got this kind of falling wedge. You know that if it breaks the falling wedge to the downside, well, it wasn't as bullish as you thought. And if it breaks out to the upside, which it's got quite a steep angle on, so it's pretty easy for it to break out to the upside, you got a good little setup there. But again, guys, ladies, gentlemen, just because you have a triangle, this triangle doesn't have some sort of supernatural ability to hypnotize random people and go have them buy stuff, right? These candles are a reflection of what's already been done. They are not a reflection of what is about to happen. So bear that in mind with any of your decisions here. If you get a breakout, solid signal. It means that people are bullish on this asset and it's ready to go up. Solid signal. But if it breaks down, it means people are selling. It's as simple as that sometimes. Yeah, I think this might trend down, if I'm honest. If I'm just to take a guess, I'm going to say that this is going to break to the downside, even though it's a bullish pattern. I think this is going to break to the downside and trade sideways for a bit. I don't know why. I never know why. I'm just telling you what I think. And it'll go into an accumulation. We are still anticipating June for a lot of the rotation. We don't know how the rotation is going to play out, but I still think it's June. I just said, Maynard, June. Altcoin season is in June. You have my word. That is a JT guarantee. All right, let's talk about the ordinals a little bit. Track, looking like shit. It's a good thing we didn't get excited about track. Why didn't we get excited about track? Because we were below our excitement line. And as long as we are below our excitement line, we don't get excited about track. When we breach the 60-cent level, then we can get excited. But until then, they're just doing a whole bunch of fundamental Fugazi bullshit that we don't care about. Hypermall, cool. Nobody cares. Fastest DEX in the world, cool. Nobody cares. You know what people care about? Number go up. So if people start to buy track, it'll cause other people to buy track. And those other people buying track will tell their other friends to buy track. And then it'll keep going up. And it's this feedback loop. There's no fundamentals here. It's just, is it going up? We're not going down. We're treading sideways. Now let's see if we can go up. If we can go up, you're going to have, the price will push the news. The price will push the narrative. That's just the way it is. And it will begin to do that, in my opinion, as soon as we breach 60 cents, which is a break above the major resistance. We're below the excitement line. We're not excited. We get excited above that line. Same sort of story here on Ordi. We're below the excitement line. As long as we stay below the excitement line, we're not excited. Once we breach above it, then we can get excited. I know it seems so simple and so ridiculous, but honestly, like the more simple you can keep your analysis, the better. People fucking just put so many layers and indicators and MACD and this and DXX and blah, 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 and all this shit. And what's the really popular one everybody uses for scalping? I can't even remember. The Crypto Faces one, Market Cipher, this, like these super elaborate indicators. And it's super simple. That's why alphanumerics is so simple. It's just a couple moving averages and a bias. When you really strip it down, alphanumerics is super simple. And it's the only indicator that you need. You don't even need RSI when you're using alphanumerics. Yeah, so just keep it simple. One stupid line will, especially on alts. You don't need to get fancy with alts. You can get fancy with Bitcoin because it's so liquid and there's so many market participants. You can make it a little bit more nuanced. But alts are trash. They're absolute garbage. They're go nowhere, non-starter projects that people speculate on and have fun buying and selling and fucking each other over on. Eventually, people are going to start buying these pieces of flaming garbage and they're going to start trading it at higher and higher prices. You don't need fancy indicators for that. You just need one stupid line. Here's the stupid line. Okay, we're below this stupid line. Nobody gives a shit. All right, well, maybe when we get above this stupid line, the behavior is going to change and we're going to see that things are expanding. That's it. One stupid line can be your best friend in this market, especially if you're an altcoin trader. Do not get fancy with it. Keep it simple. Is your prediction for BTC still 250K? Dude, that's like the low end. I said between 250K and 1.2 million this cycle. So yeah, sure. If everything goes wrong, 250K. Yeah, that's my prediction. How's BTC balance on exchanges looking? Down only. Down only, which is why we go into up only. I don't have a chart ready to take a look at exchange balances, but yeah, it's just lower and lower. Sats. Sats. Still garbage. Shit. Nobody cares. Second call way down. First call way up. That's the way it goes, ladies and gentlemen. First call on Sats still 500% up. Second call on Sats 78% down. A lot of people got in on the second one because you were late to ordinals in general. So apologies for that. That's just the way she goes. Ordinals, altcoins can just suck sometimes. But still, shout out to the OGs. We got in before it had a chart. There was no chart. We got in here. This arrow that's down here, that's the price that we got in at. It wasn't even a price. And then they built the chart. It was fun times. First wave of ordinals was really fun. I anticipate the second wave of ordinals to be equally fun. How's Curve doing? We haven't seen Mauricio in a while. We're probably at a bad time zone now. Keeps missing us. He was live quite a bit when I was in Dubai. Now that I'm PST, never see him. We miss you, Mauricio. I know you're watching, but we miss you. Yeah, looking good on CRV. CRV just looks so clean. It's just a textbook. Like, take a picture of that and put it in a Wyckoff textbook because it's so clean. This is what I mean. Going back to, like, do I like the way it looks? Do I like the way it's behaving? Is this a pattern that I've seen many times before? And when we talk about CRV, yes, I've seen this pattern so many times before. This results in a markup phase. It's highly likely to result in a markup phase. What's IMX doing? Nothing. We got a bag of that from last cycle. We nailed the bottom on the dollar pair. Let's go to IMX USD. Nobody talks about IMX. Immutable X, like, ugh. It's like worse than holding ETH. But we nailed the bottom here. Like, literally nailed the bottom of IMX. Rolled all this up. Fucking round tripped it right back down. It'll do it again. It'll do it again, and it'll be some massive double bottom. I don't know what's going to happen as far as a narrative, but price moves narratives. So as soon as price starts to tick up, there will be a narrative to go alongside it. Excuse me. All right, I think we'll keep it on the shorter side today. Nothing really to report. The rotation's not going to take place while Bitcoin is this strong. And Bitcoin's strong, real strong. We're going to see Bitcoin at 125, 150 over the next, probably, if I was to guess, we'll do the monthly chart. We'll end things off on the monthly chart because we've been nailing it on the monthly chart. We told you, April, month of recovery. May, month of the breakout. We've been 100% right so far. I think that May will probably cap out 120, and that'll make June get us to 150. We're just pulling numbers out of a hat at this point. But if I'm a betting man, this candle's not done. May's got 9 days left, and it'll be somewhere around 120. It'll tap out at 120, and then the next month we'll get up to that 150. 150, we'll probably get a pullback month after that, because it's just, by that point, most of the market will be convinced again, and when most of the market gets convinced, that's when people get wrecked. And then once they get wrecked, we're free and clear to go for the next month after that, and we'll probably finish out the year well above 250, in my opinion. Like, I'll make a video in the coming days as to what my bearish, bullish, and exorbitant crazy price is so far on the cycle. But before I get out of here, guys, go and check out blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro. sign up for your free Bitcoin trading bot. I recommend Bullbox for the foreseeable future. Probably for the rest of phase 2, I recommend Bullbox. They're all good. If you're asking me which bot I think is going to be the most profitable, I think it's going to be Bullbox, which is, you can find that here. Go to go to strategies, go to futures. This guy right here, AMX Bullbox, you can read all about it. And yeah, email, password, we get you signed up. Then you can come into the Discord. Use this button right here if you aren't already in the Discord, and that will get you auto-verified into the Discord. If you are in the Discord and you don't want to go through the verification process, leave the Discord and rejoin with this button, and that'll get you right into the members area. If you're wondering if you're a member or not, just type in the Discord. If your name is green, you are a member. If your name is white, you are a non-member, and you won't be able to see too many channels either. All right. Never trade, just invest into BTC and ICP. Wow. I mean, we're trying to make some yield, brother. But yeah, the majority of your portfolio, 100%. You should never trade with more than you are willing to lose, and you shouldn't be willing to lose 100% of your portfolio. You should be willing to lose 5, maybe 10% of your portfolio. So the majority of your holdings is BTC. I agree with that 100%. That is all the time I have for today. If you guys enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Do all the things, and we will see you guys in the next one. Cheers. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.